Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Classics, Whiplash. Skeletor adds one more to his ranks with the new tail-thrashing warrior. So, how does this new figure with almost all new tooling rate? Let's jump right in and take a look. Whiplash arrives in the standard white mailer box bearing his name. Inside that mailer is the Masters Classics blister card packaging. From the package you can see the figure with his accessories all displayed alongside him. The back features a look at other figures in the lineup, along with a brand new bio for the character. Now, Whiplash features a lot of great sculpting that we haven't seen yet in the Masters Classics line, and the details are really well done. Sculpted scales can be seen on his neck down onto his shoulders. His arms have extra pointy spikes that differ from Skeletor's finned arms. His legs also have a really cool finned look. And he has incredibly cool, monstrous feet. Add to that a pretty amazing paint job with some cool shading and color fading, and this guy really feels like a work of art all the way around. Alright, so taking a closer look at Whiplash here, one of the really cool things about him is the fact that his body is pretty much entirely brand new. I mean, every little bit of sculpt on this, minus maybe the furry underpants here, is all brand new material, stuff we have not seen on other figures so far. Just taking a look at the front, we can see this new chest piece, which is, of course, going to be reused on some figures such as the newly revealed Buzz-Off coming next year. Now, this front piece is actually separate from the chest buck, and it's just glued onto the figure. And then the back here is where we have Whiplash's tail. Now, let's take a look at that tail first of all. It is one solid piece of plastic, and it does have one articulation cut right here so that the tail can be swiveled back and forth. So we do have some articulation there and allows you for a little bit of variation with posing him, but that's really all the posing you're going to get out of it. The vintage one had the soft rubbery tail, the 2000X one had the action feature that whipped the tail, this one just has an articulation joint. But to be honest, I think that works perfectly fine. Now, one thing to notice about this is this whole piece is actually a separate back piece that just plugs right onto the figure. There's two little plugs on the back with the two little holes within the tail so that you can just plug it on. Now, looking at this, I think it's pretty clear that this is the exact same buck we're going to see on Buzz-Off, and this function right here allows Mattel to make the piece such as Buzz-Off's wings that are going to attach to the back of the Buzz-Off figure. So, honestly, it's kind of an ingenious little design, being able to still reuse the same body parts like that. So, pretty dang sweet. Now, when the 2000X Whiplash was released, he was actually one of the more drastic updates. From the build of his body to the design of his face, he really had quite a new look to him. Looking at the body of this new version of Whiplash, it's obvious that Mattel went back to that vintage design. But really, the great thing about this figure is the inclusion of two unique heads, so that you can display him with either that vintage look or the 2000X style look. Now, both head sculpts are absolutely fantastic. Just like the rest of the figure, the detailing is quite incredible. Both heads perfectly capture the looks of the figure they are based on in this new updated style. Now, while I think it's great that we have the option to display this figure with either look, I have to admit that there's just something a little off about that 2000X head. It's not the sculpt, that is probably perfect,
but I think it's the size. When the head is on the body, the proportions just seem a little off to me. I don't know, maybe it's just the way you position him, because sometimes it looks good, but most of the time he just kind of looks like a fat head to me. Whiplash also includes 2 weapons, one to match whichever head you choose to use. You have his classic spear, and this crazy thing, which was the 2000X design. The spear can be held in his right hand, which is the more closed one. The 2000X weapon has a really wide handle and can only be held in his opened hand. But just a heads up, the hand does not fit the weapon very tightly. He can hold it fine, but he doesn't have the strongest grip on it. Alright guys, it's comparison time. Standing next to his vintage counterpart, you can easily see what I mentioned earlier. The body and the head are perfect updates of the original. Now, next to the 2000X version, maybe you get a better idea of what I was talking about with that head. The 2000X figure had a small head and a large, bulky body. And this new figure is almost the opposite. And look at the difference in the body designs. Overall, Whiplash is a pretty incredible figure. The detailing is fantastic. I love the extra head, even if it does look a little off to me. And it's really refreshing to get a figure with so many newly tooled parts. Plus, this one just opens the door for even more Masters characters. Until next time.